everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99. We've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel. I am joined today with both Slothy and Brian. Slothy, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad. I was pretty sick last week. It's just, I just throwing up lots, didn't feel great. It was not wonderful, so I actually took some days off work, which I never do. So,
what have you done with Daniel?
Yeah. So I'm actually feeling a lot better now. I just relaxed pretty much all weekend. That's all I did and did that. So back to work tonight in the apparently fog, as I've just rediscovered again. So always fun to drive in that. And other than that, just got some of my summer plans kind of ready to go, and I know organized a few decks. It's we played a few games of Magic on last night, but wasn't too horrible. Brian, how are you doing?
A few decks.
Yeah, I organized them. You were there. You were there when I was cleaning the table. You know what happened.
Yeah, basically his entire table is just decks. But I'm doing good. Well, my back's still a little bit out of commission, but it's slowly getting better.
Yeah, that's good.
Getting old sucks.
Yeah, right. All of us are getting there. Never a good time. But no, I'm glad you guys are doing well. We've got a, I think, fairly interesting deck. While organizing decks, came across this card just like sitting in my random like bulk of like cards that I was sorting for my commander staples. And it's Trelasarra. It's a really cool commander. I've just been more and more in love with their uncommon commanders they've been printing lately. Mm-hmm. And this one kind of skipped me over when we were initially doing it, but I looked at it and this is just a phenomenal commander for a budget deck. Brian got to see this go. There's a few things we'll talk about later that this deck needs. There's definitely some upgrades, but I would say at the minimum, this is a very good shell for it, and it's cheap. It's like $123. So
what land is putting that to 100?
Solid score of nothing. No, I think it's one of the creatures is expensive. Yeah, like there's one of the creatures is 1/3 of this deck or 1/4 of this deck.
I saw this go off, and I thought it was really neat. It was a 70-something, 72.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Trelasarra gets out of hand. So, first and foremost, a shout out to someone in my play group who put a Genesis chamber down. So, every time anything entered, people also got a mirror. That really made my life game go silly. So, that
really happy that your own girlfriend or your own fiance took you out.
Yeah, she did kill me that time. I was a menace, and she wasn't having it. But yes, so Trelasarra, the Moon Dancer, is a green and a white for a 2/2 elf cleric. Those are great tribes for everything. Like, you can go a lot of cool directions. Strixhaven specifically gave us a lot of really, really interesting green life gain stuff. Yep. So there's tons of like ways to go into that, and then they've just been making more. Life gain's always been a thing, but they've been making more interesting versions of life gain, I think.
Is this from the D&D set? Is that what that symbol is?
I think it's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Trelasarra, 2/2 elf cleric for 2. Whenever you gain life, you put a 1/1 counter on Trelasarra, Moon Dancer, and you scry 1. So we're not really caring about the quantity of life we're gaining. The quality, sorry. We're caring about quantity. We just want to gain life as often as we can in this deck so that we can constantly trigger this. And that Scry ability just lets you rip through the deck for what you need. So number one is you really need to add more draw into this deck. My version doesn't have enough draw because it is really, Brian's out here playing mind cranks and stuff like an animal. It's you've got to do that because knowing what's on top of your deck, you can get to your answers and to whatever you're looking for really, really fast. So my second version of this will have a little more draw, but again, I think I might actually just leave this deck as is and like continue it that way. I really, really enjoyed this deck a ton. It was a great time to play, and everything. It's got such a low CMC. The deck really plays itself. It's got basically no the mana. I'll go through quickly. I have a Canopy Vista in it, Command Tower, Forests, Fortified Village, Gavinry Township, which is nice. It can put 1/1 counters on creatures you control, but that's not really it. The only thing you really care about is Rogue's Passage.
Some of these lands, or just some of these cards, due to like the writing that's on there, look like you found a way to put like proxies into a website. They don't look like real cards.
Some of them just don't look great, the versions.
Like Canopy Vista, like the little tiny writing compared to everything else on the page.
That's funny. No, yeah, Rogue's Passage is the only one that really matters in this. Like, everything else is just really basic land. This is a $15 land section. So
that Thornglint Bridge is just wonderful. I really like the look of that land.
I really like the dual effects.
Mm-hmm.
It's they're pretty nice lands and stuff. But yeah, it's this deck has just not got a lot of crazy stuff in it. There's actually a few instants in sorcery. Slothy would be proud of me.
Yeah, I actually noticed that.
There's a few.
You're getting better.
We'll get there.
22 instance?
Yeah, so again, just like with my last deck, this one doesn't have a Soul Ring. Soul Ringless deck. You can put a Soul Ring in it, but there's not very many cards that are above it. And your commander doesn't benefit from a Soul Ring. And pretty much everything's like a 1-drop, so Soul Ring is good, but I don't know. This deck is all low CMC, so it doesn't matter as much. The first one that I've got in this for artifacts is Symmetry Matrix, because I'm going to put this in every single deck I can for the time being. It's a 4-mana uncommon. Whenever a creature with power equal to its toughness enters under your control, you can pay 1 if you do draw a card.
The one card that I thought would probably be really good in here, except it would increase the value, and it is an artifact, so I thought this would probably be a good spot to talk about it. Sensei's Divining Top. To help you, at least if you get that card that's on the top of your deck, that you can at least
draw it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah, Sensei's is always good. There's another one from Kaldheim, Cosmos Elixir, and that gives you a piece of draw and a piece of life gain. So that's a really interesting land to be able to get. I'll play this one on stream. It's like I said, it's a very, very fun deck. You can definitely blitz people with commander damage in this, no problem. But Cosmos Elixir just gives you that extra one. I just couldn't find one when I was looking around, so I've still got to send a list out to 1 or 2 of the stores and see what else it is. And then I'll just finish my artifact section with just Well of Lost Dreams. It's 4 mana. Whenever you gain life, you can pay X, where X is less than or equal to the amount of life you gained. If you do, you draw X cards. So again, this whole deck is really, really about a lot of instances of 1 life gain. So it's just a great spot that lets you get like a pseudo mind's eye effect of paying 1 to draw. You know? What's that face for, Brian?
I'm just, I really thought you would be heavier on the creature side, but actually almost every single slot is evenly spaced out.
Yeah.
Like for me, I always usually run like 30-something creatures almost.
Let's start right into creatures, because yeah, there's tons of them. You wanna jump into these?
Sure. I'll grab the Accomplished Alchemist, 3 and a green. It's an elf druid. You tap it to add 1 mana of any color, or you can tap it to add X mana of any 1 color where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. I've not seen this one, even though it came from Strixhaven.
Love Strixhaven.
Yeah, it was a really good set, actually. I really enjoyed it.
Well, there's lots of times, again, you get a lot of instances of like 1 or 2 life gains kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times in games, this can be tapping for, like 6 to 10 mana pretty easy, and that's a great investment for 4 mana. Worst case, it's just a weak pip, but Slothy, you want this next one here?
Yeah, we got Angel of Vitality, 2 and white for a 2/2 angel with flying. If you would gain life, you gain that much +1 instead, and Angel of Vitality gets +2/+2 as long as you have 25 life.
Yeah, I really, really like Angel of Vitality. You did go a little more. I don't know why you're breaking up a little bit today, but that's okay. We'll sort it out after. We've got we have a Beloved Princess as well next, which is just, I think, a great little 1-drop. It's 1-drop, 1/1 life-linking human noble, and it can't be blocked by powers with creatures. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Tongue twister on it. But no, it's just a great source of early block lifelink. If you can dump tokens onto your counters onto it, then it's also a great way to smash through people.
This creature almost looks like they got a picture of a horse in like some weird hue on the lens. So we have Celestial Unicorn here, 2 and a white. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Celestial Unicorn. So you're not be having two big creatures.
Yeah, it gets, again, another one that cares about like the quantity, not the quality of the life gain.
Mm-hmm. And it's already 3-2 off the hop too, which isn't bad at all.
Yeah, right? Okay, Slothy, you want to take this next one here?
Absolutely. Next up, we got Dawnbringer Cleric. 1/3 for 1 and a white. When he enters the battlefield, you can choose one. You can cure wounds to gain 2 life, dispel magic to destroy target enchantment, or gentle repose to exile target card from the graveyard.
I really, really like those options that they keep putting on cards, like the DMD option kind of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
The spells, yeah.
Yeah. It's I also really like the options with this. Again, it's going to be life gain, it's going to be enchantment removal, which no one runs enough of, and it's going to hit things like graveyard decks that are trying to recur things.
Yeah, if you destroy something, you at least you have an answer to exile it as well.
Yeah, right. I definitely do like that. The next we've got as well as Daxos, which is just a great card. I love all of those, all of these like little demigods from Theros. Daxos, Blessed by the Sun, is a double white for a legendary enchantment creature demigod. It is 2 and a star. The toughness is equal to your devotion. Whenever another creature you control enters or dies, you gain a life.
Daxos. Gonna have to remember that one.
Yeah, Daxos is really, really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's
then we. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, it's just enters or dies gives me again more interesting sources of that life gain. Of like, okay, well, here we go. Now I can, if you kill my creatures, not such a big deal because you're still buffing my commander more and more. You're still giving me. If 10 creatures die at once, they're all going to trigger. So even a board wipe is going to trigger like a Scry 10 deep for my new answer.
Yeah. Scry 10 deep for that mana tithe.
True.
Next up, we have Daybreak Chaplain. 1 and a white human cleric. Lifelink 1/3. So another just little one. At least has a bigger butt there to help block some other stuff.
Yeah, well, a 1/3 blocker is not horrible, especially early and especially lifelinking.
Really happy to see this one in there.
You want to take this one too?
Yeah. So I love the Soul Sisters, and this is one that I don't think I see all too often. And it's Essence Warden, 1 green, Elf Shaman. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life.
Those are the effects we really want. The global enter. Our enter is not horrible, but the global enter really is great.
Yeah, especially when there's artifacts making mirrors.
Well, or if someone's sitting there playing like a Scoot Swarm, I'll make 100 Scoot Swarms. Great, I'll scry my whole deck and find what I want.
Yeah.
Do you want this next one here?
Yeah. Next up, we've got Gala Greeters, 1 and a green for a 1/1 elf druid. It's got Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. You can put a +1/+1 counter on Gala Greeters, create a tapped treasure token, or gain 2 life.
I just love those utilities of that. If I'm a lot of these are really, really small CMC things, so it's really frequent that you can drop a ton of them out. And I just like that ability to possibly get all 3 effects off on, pardon me, on 1 turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
This does definitely have a great like 1/1 counter theme, Ozolith or something like that, or any of the like Abzan Falcon or any of those kind of things that care about counters would be really, really good additions to this deck. Like I said, I just went like as a straight life gain deck, but you can see that there's definitely a good 1/1 theme in here, like a Cathar's Crusade, the Felidar Retreat, any of those things. Would really
Hardened Scales.
Yeah, it would really fit well in this deck. Yeah, Hardened Scales would be a great 1-drop. Trelasarra would be nuts. Go silly. The next we have is Healer.
Turn 3 and I have a 20/20.
It got out of control so fast. We've got Healer of the Glade. It's a 1 green, 1/2 elemental, and when it enters, you gain 3 life.
Yeah, I've not seen that one, but that one's a neat addition there.
I pulled one of those in when I was going through the bulk. It's a foil one, and it just looks so nice.
I love foils.
Yeah, right.
Impassioned Orator, 1 and a white human cleric, 2/2. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain 1 life. I did not see this guy. Definitely going to have to pick him up.
Yeah, another great like cleric there. This as well. From anyone who's heard the Aura episode before, and if you haven't, it's a really fun episode. Go look at it. Wink, wink. But there's this deck would be super fun as a cleric deck as well. There's so many cool like clerics that are like prevent damage equal to the number of clerics you control, power toughness equal to the clerics you control. Medic. Yeah, exactly. Like any of those things. So like I'm gonna probably keep building this. I said I'm gonna build a second version. Now looking at this again, I'm like, I do want to build a cleric one. So you'll probably see one of those as well. Like anytime you check like the Linktree stuff, you'll see a lot of decks. I keep putting them up. One day I'll put all the decks I have up, but that's not today. But no, it's just
400 days later.
Do it daily, yeah. I just really like the cleric like sub theme and stuff. There's a lot of really cool clerics, and like I said, this is just great tribes of an elf deck commander or a cleric commander or a life gain commander or a 1/1 counter commander.
This next one actually makes sense, and I love it that you have it in here. I really enjoy it.
Sloth, you want to take that one?
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Jodi Offshoot. It's a 0/3 plant for green. It's got Defender and Landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life.
Everything gains life.
Yeah, like this is great. I wouldn't have even thought about that.
Yeah, well, that's like I said. We just want to care more and more and more about the number of times we can, the number of times that we can get a life gain trigger off, so that we can scry through. You can really rip through. The spoiler in this deck is that you need to give your commander trample. Your commander needs trample or some evasion, so build that into the deck. Mine has limited of that, but it just gets so big so fast because everything is just like, I play a land, I gain 3 life. I drop a Healer of the Glade, I get 3 life. Then it triggers an Essence Warden, I get another life. It triggers Impassioned Orator, I get another life. Like it just goes silly. A Hardened Scales again would be a great addition to a more budget intensive, like less budget friendly one. But again, this is a deck that if you cut, especially just the one creature we get to near the bottom of the list, this is like an $80 deck, and it's a blast to play. So
yeah, your creature was dumb at the end of that game.
Oh yeah, it very quickly became like I think it was an 80/80 or something at one point of the game.
Yeah,
it was definitely one-shotting people. So yeah, Jodi Offshoot's great. We've also got a Core Celebrant. It's 2 colorless, 1 white for a 1/4 Core Cleric. Whenever it or another creature enters under your control, you gain a life. So again, it's going to trigger itself. It's going to make all of your other things get that Soul Warden S effect for nothing.
Yeah. There's so much life gain. It's fantastic. Then we have Loran of the Third Path. 2 and a white. 2/1 Human Artificer Vigilance. When Loran of the Third Path enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. Tap it. You and target opponent each draw a card. Oh, this is the one that you're helping me draw with.
Yeah, I love this card. It's this both blew up Brian's Mind Crank and helped Brian. Yeah, get the thing back. You can get some goodwill with the blow up as well, and just be like, listen, that's got to go, but don't worry, I'll make it up to you. You're going to get the next 3 of these that I can trigger is going to you. And with us scrying to the top, having that top deck knowledge, a lot of times we're going to have the answer we need or the card we want up top. So having some form of like immediate draw is going to work in our favor.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we've got Lunarch Veteran. It's a 1/1 Human Cleric for white. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And it's got Disturb for 1 and a white. You can cast it from graveyard. And then it comes back as Luminous Phantom, 1/1 Spirit Cleric with flying. Whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, you gain 1 life. And if Luminous Phantom will be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead.
Yeah, I love this card. Just again, it doesn't quite hit the Soul Sisters status of everyone, but another just 1-drop enters the battlefield. There's a lot of enter the battlefield, and Elesh Norn would really, really wreck this deck for me. This would really, really set me back a whole bunch, which is why it's a good card and sometimes needs to. Then I have to put better cards in this deck. And Elesh Norn's probably going to go into this deck to just double up those triggers of my 1/1 life gains. And like, boo-hoo, if you don't like that, I'm going to do it anyway. So I just want 1 more because it triggers again. That's the thing. It triggers an additional time. So it would be like, gain 1 life, then gain 1 life, then gain 1 life, then gain 1 life. Yes.
You don't That's got a problem with the new Elesh Norn. There's a certain 2 blue mana spell that can help you out with that one.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. The next one as well is one that needs to come out of this deck. It's not good in this deck, and I have it in there because I like it. It's a great, it's great for what it does, but you're trying to gain quantity of life gain triggers, not quality. So Nykthos Paragon is just like a staple in a life gain deck. Obviously, that's why it's the inclusion. It's a 50-cent card, and it's 4 double white for a 4/6 human soldier, enchantment creature, and it's whenever you gain life, you can put that many 1/1 counters on each creature you control. And that is pretty great, but a lot of times it's only you do it only one time each turn, right? So this it is going to be awesome, because as much as I'm saying, oh no, it's not a good thing, if you have like a Soul Warden out and everyone's playing creatures and stuff like that, like getting a 1/1 counter on your creatures every time you go around, like they're +3/+3, then they're +6/+6, that's definitely not going to hurt you, but it's just it's not getting quite the same quality as like Brian, what's your weird mutate thing? Not mutate, Nethroi. It's not getting the same quantity of like Nethroi lifelinks for 30 and you get 30 1/1 counters on each creature and stuff, right? It's just not getting that same quality.
Well, and the nice thing though is it's going to be +3 every time it goes around, right? If everyone does play a creature.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, this does become, if you have any of those life gain effects of your 1-drop, which you should in this deck, as I'm showing you, you should.
Technically, could you be able to stack your triggers? So if you technically a creature enters, you gain 3 life off of all 3 Soul Sisters, and then you trigger Nykthos.
No, it's whenever you gain life, you can put that many 1/1 counters. So it has to be from a trigger.
Boo.
Yeah, you may. I can choose which of the triggers to do. Like if I did like
it's all an instance of 1,
yeah,
then it's
1. So if I did like that, the what's the 1-drop? Where was it here? The Healer of the Glade. If I had a trigger of 1/1 enters, like gain 1 life from like an Essence Warden, or this gain 3 life, I could be like, okay, I will put all of my creatures up +3. So it's not horrible in the deck. Like I said, it's just not as good as it could be in another deck. Like I think that there might be better places for something like this, like like maybe even again like a Felidar Retreat, like I was mentioning earlier, where I can landfall put counters on all my creatures, or a Cathar's Crusade, where every time something enters, I just think that it's one of the highest costed cards in the deck, and I don't think it's got the payoff for it. I'm keeping it in the deck for now because again, it's such a great life gain card, and at 50 cents, who can argue with my budget? But
yeah.
Hey, the next one I'm gonna grab here, Prosperous Innkeeper, 1 in the green. It's a halfling. It's a halfling citizen. It's a little 1/1. When Prosperous Innkeeper enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life.
Yeah,
he's so prosperous,
right? Slothy, do you want to take the card that's 1/3 of the budget of the deck?
I would love to. So we got a Resplendent Angel, 1 double white for a 3/3 angel with fly. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. Or you can pay 3 triple white, and until end of turn, Resplendent Angel gets +2/+2 and lifelink.
That 5 life is not hard to hit on anyone's turn.
No.
Yeah, so it's going to put in phenomenal amounts of work, and its each end step trigger is great. Like it's the majority of the budget of this deck. You could just simply not put this in. You could put I don't know, like a Soul Ring maybe in the deck in its place, and you'd have a pretty good time. But
this next card's magical.
Just the artwork of it, it's pretty silly looking, right?
It's so good.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh man, we got Skyclave Cleric, 1 and a white. So 1/3 core cleric, and it's riding a reindeer with the funniest looking antlers. It's great. I love it. When Skyclave Cleric enters a battlefield, you gain 2 life. I want this art.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool, right? It has a flip side too. The flip side is just Skyclave Basilica, and it enters tapped for 1 white. So it is my extra land for the deck.
This is so funny. I love it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Brian.
Yeah. I love some of the art for these cards that they come out with. Who thought, let's put in a cleric that's riding a reindeer.
You want to take these next 2 ones, Brian, and then I'll get Slothy to end our list here? Well, end that part of the list. Yeah, that's the whole deck. Bye.
Yeah, I'll make it easy. The next up we have the Soul Sisters. Hey, Soul Sisters. Soul Warden, Soul Lieutenant. They're both 1/1 human clerics, and they cost 1 white. And they are wonderful for any white deck.
Yeah, I do like them. This deck, before we get to that end part there, I don't know why I'm dying today. Oh yeah, I guess I am still sick. That would make sense. That would make much more sense. I'm thinking it through in my head. Mother of Runes, any of those kind of cards, those would also be great drops in here to give you that protection to blow through people with your commander. So those are also good inclusions. I just didn't have any when I was building this.
Mother and Giver, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Slothy, the last one.
Yeah. Last creature we got here is a Sylvan Shepherd. 2 green for a 2/3 human druid with vigilance. And whenever Sylvan Shepherd attacks, roll a d20. On 1 to 9, you gain 1 life. 10 to 19, you gain 2 life. And on a natural 20, you gain 5 life.
Yeah, right. I like that.
Yep.
Randomized.
I love rolling dice. Who doesn't love rolling dice?
Yeah, you get it. This,
Exactly.
Brian, this right here, this enchantment section. Oh yeah, $9. I love it.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, so
I love enchantments.
Yeah, we've got 11 enchantments, $9, so it's a real banger. Our first one on the list is Abiding Grace. It is 2 and a white. At the beginning of your end step, you choose one. You either gain 1 life or you return target creature with mana value 1 from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, right, Brian? Exactly.
I want to keep my Soul Wardens alive.
Yeah, I just think that this is great because, exactly like you said, generally speaking, my 1-pip cards are the ones I care about the most in that deck. And like if you build better than me and you put a Mother of Runes or a Giver of Runes, that's another 1 drop there. But just getting the Essence Warden, Soul Warden, those are like very important cards in this deck because it's quantity of life gain, not quality. We don't care about the garbage numbers we gain. We just care about gain.
I don't care about my creatures. I want life from everybody's creatures.
Yeah, right. And like I said, at its worst, it's just another instance of gain a life at the end step, which is it's everything we want to do. At its worst is there's a lot of creatures that we can bring back with this.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of times where returning 1 mana value creature is going to gain you more than 1 life anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Just especially overall, I really, really like it. And people are pretty quickly going to pick up on what you're doing with this when Trelasarra is like a 50-50 on turn 4. It got out of control so fast. Like I think it actually like hit like we were playing in a bigger pod. Granted, like we were playing like a 6-person game. Was it 7? We were playing a lot, but regardless, Trelasarra was like a 20-20 on like turn 2 or 3. It was gross.
Well, it's because it's every creature, and then every creature made a mirror, and then
it was turn 3 because I played Trelasarra. It got back to Logan. Logan played the Genesis Chamber, and then it just got out of control. Every time anyone played anything, it just got out of control so quickly.
All right, to keep us on time frame here, we got Answered Prayers. 1, 2 white. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. If Answered Prayers isn't a creature, it becomes a 3/3 angel creature with flying in addition to its other types until end of turn. Pardon? So it just becomes a creature?
Yeah, till the end of the turn. So you play a creature, you get your life gain off that you care about, and then it becomes 3/3 in addition to its other types. So it doesn't lose though whenever a creature enters ability, and it just becomes a 3/3 beater.
I like that.
I really, really like this card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've not seen these before. This is neat.
Which the multi-class ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were probably gone for these. Yeah, Brian, take this one, please.
So we have Cleric class. Gain the next level as a sorcery to add its ability. First level, if you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. You can pay 3 and a white to go to level 2. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Level 3 is 4 and a white. When this class becomes level 3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain life equal to its toughness. I like it. Except I would probably just keep it on level 1.
On level 1, it's great. If you've got the mana to dump it into level 2, then it's just giving the Trelasarra effect minus the Scry to anything. So you're still gaining a life, because you don't lose the other abilities, you keep them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you add its ability. So it's if you go to level 2, every time you gain a life, you gain that much +1, and you also put 1 on
add.
counter. Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, these are
cool.
really, really cool enchantments for sure.
And let's take a deep dive into some of these.
The blue one as well, Wizard's Class, is another great one. It's a 1 blue, and it's first. Let me just an aside into Wizard's Class because you didn't know this one. Wizard's Class MTG. That one, it's again, so another Adventure in Forgotten Realms. It's 1 blue to drop it. You have no max hand size. Pay 2 in a blue. When it goes to level 2, you draw 2 cards, and then 4 in a blue for level 3. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, which again, out of control in a draw deck.
Oh, and to have a Snake Leviathan Wizard.
Think how enormous Xeris would be. That'd be a great one for Xeris. I never even thought of putting that in. But yes, no, Cleric Class is just another great one.
Yeah, that seems really cool.
Sloth, you want this next one?
Yeah. Next up, we've got is that art from
That's a Jumpstart one.
Oh, I quite like that.
I really like it, yeah.
We got Colossal Majesty, 2 in the green. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card.
Spoiler, you will.
Yeah.
It's pretty large. And again, you generally know that card that you're drawing, so...
Does 50 count?
Yeah, exactly, right? We have Griffin Airy, 1 and a white. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, you get a 2/2 white Griffin with flying.
And then if you have the Soul Sisters out, I gain some more life.
Yeah, well, and exactly. You gain 3 life so easily throughout your turn. You get a Griffin. The Griffin enters. You gain a bunch more life.
And then it triggers if you gain 5 or more life this turn.
Yeah. I'm going to take this next one as well because, again, just like last week's episode with Kinesos, Into the Wilds is just an amazing card if you have that ability to scry. 3 and a green. At the beginning of your upkeep, you look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you may put it onto the battlefield. That's awesome to trigger because we don't want to draw lands all the time, right? We want to draw other cards that we care about. So knowing that something we want is up top is good for us. But if we're slow early, this just gives us an extra chance to turn all of that. Like, I'll put a land up top because I know Into the Wilds is here and I'm getting a free land every turn. You're gonna scry. I was like scrying like 15 every turn to get to things. So you will be able to stack a land to the top. And as I mentioned in like the first few minutes of the episode, you really want a Rogue's Passage. It's very important to hit people. Yeah, Into the Wilds is a great one.
I love the flavor text. Wonders hide where the trees grow thickest.
True, I like that.
You got to play this one right off the hop.
Yeah. You want to take this one, Brad?
We got Leyline of Vitality, 2 and 2 green. If Leyline of Vitality is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. Creatures you control get +0/+1. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain 1 life. It's really good.
I like that one a lot. Slothy, do you want to...
Yeah. Next up, we got Retreat to Kazandu. 2 in the green. It's got landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. You can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or gain 2 life.
Again,
I'm going to assume you're taking the 2 life.
Well, it's just all the things we want in general, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's going to be either we got the counters theme, we've got the life gain theme. It's usually going to be the life gain, but
you know what I thought would actually go pretty good in here? That Citizen's Champion. Not Citizen's Champion. I had her. Creatures can't block your creatures for the number of +1/+1 counters, or if they're weaker than her.
I know exactly what one you're talking about, but the name is blanking me.
Yeah.
It's that whenever creatures with power less than can't block.
Yeah. I think that would actually go pretty good in here. That would help get your commander through if at least it's slower.
It is... Everyone knows the card. Champion of Lamphold, there it is.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, whenever another creature enters, you put a 1/1 counter on it, and creatures with power less than it can't block. That would be a great one.
Try to help you get through as well.
Yeah, that'd actually be a really, really good one, because you're going to, again, go hard into the triggers aspect. Some proliferate in this could be really good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I also really like Citizen Training. It's the next enchantment here. 1 and green. Enchant a creature you control. When Citizen Training enters, you draw a card. Enchant a creature gets +1/+0 and trample.
That's the one ability you really need.
That is something you really, really need.
I actually have started to put this card. I drew a couple of them. Takasia's Welcome, 2 and a white. Whenever 1 or more creatures with mana value 3 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Again, with white It's not blue. You don't really get the card draw, so we gotta try to get as many triggers of it as we can.
Well, and so much of this deck, like I sound like a broken record, but if a creature enters, let's say I drop a Soul Warden, a lot of times I'm going to have 4 or 5 instances of a life gain trigger. So I'm going to scry 5 and then decide what I draw. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next one's rough.
Close out our enchantment section. We've got Unquestioned Authority. 2 and a white. You can enchant creature. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. An enchanted creature has protection from creatures.
If this hits the board, it's generally lights out for whoever is the most problematic player.
Is that an elephant in the top right-hand corner?
Yeah, big Luxodon thing.
He has like little alien antennas.
Yeah.
He looks like a caterpillar elephant.
Oh, yeah, we'll do our instance last. We'll finish there. We'll go to sorceries because there's some great instance in here, and I think Slothy will be proud in his soul.
Oh, I was going to ask, like, you want to get Slothy's buy-in on the instance last?
I definitely think you'll like some of these silly ones. The first sorcery we have here is Camaraderie. Again, one of the highest costed cards in the actual deck at 6. It is 4, 1 green, 1 white. You gain X life, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures you control. Creatures you control get +1/+1.
This is another one of the proxy looking ones.
Yeah, it does look printed weirdly.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like it's got the MTG Online font.
Yeah. It's very strange for sure.
And see, on my screen, it actually looks normal.
Oh, yeah. That one for me is not looking great.
And obviously...
Great card, though.
Yeah. I like the draw X cards, because, again, you need that.
Mm-hmm. With that Nykthos Paragon out as well, that could be a very, very big turn for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got 10 creatures out. Because, again... Generally speaking, minus Trelasarra, people are going to leave all these creatures are junk, minus Resplendent Angel, which again has to die. You can't stay and generate me angels. I get that. But like, most of the cards suck. No offense to my own list, but like most of them aren't like great to kill. Like, are you gonna blow your swords to Plowshare on like an Essence Warden or a Lunarch veteran?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Animals.
Where are your boots?
No boots needed, Brian. Trelasarra gives boots. She doesn't wear boots. Give him the boots medium style.
No, like your protection boots.
You'll see. It's elsewhere.
Okay.
There's no boots. There's no boots.
So yeah, I'm just like, wait a minute here. Like the only creature that's worth protecting, you don't even have the fancy boots to protect her.
Meh.
He's just going to ask you really nicely not to...
Yeah, my protection is the threats I give people for targeting it.
Actually, that is, yeah, very good point. I will kill you.
I will kill you where you stand. Okay.
I will continue to attack you if you don't do this.
Yeah. It's...
To go through these first two, we got our ramp. As always, we're in green, so we have Cultivate and Farseek. Let's find those lands and get them out there so we can go burr.
Yeah, I read Cultivate every week. We don't need to read it this time.
Then we've got Lucky Offering. White, destroy target artifact with mana value 3 or less, and you gain 3 life.
Never mind, I was clapping because it's a cat. I don't like it anymore.
If you turn 1, hit someone's Soul Ring with this and gain 3 life, woo, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good, clean fun.
No.
That's the way we play. Brian. We also have a Rampant Growth, just another 2 mana ramp card. Search for a basic, put on the battlefield tapped.
Then we have Reclaim the Wastes, 1 green. It almost looks like it's like spirit animals dancing around. That looks really cool.
I really like how this one's drawn. Always have, yeah.
I saw like the dragon in the top right, and then I saw the elk in the bottom. So it has Kicker for 3. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. If the spell is kicked, search your library for 2 basic land cards instead of 1.
Yeah, I like it.
Then we've got Sanctify, 1 and a white. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. You gain 3 life.
And I'm not enjoying the amount of enchantment removal we have here.
There's a bit. We have Scale the Heights, 2 and a green. Put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature. You gain 2 life. You may play an additional land this turn and draw a card.
Pretty good.
Ever onward, ever skyward.
Yeah, some of these are really cool.
That art always reminded me of Destiny.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of that game.
I love Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny was a great time.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a good one to sink a ton of hours into. It's one I wish I played even more. A lot of my friends played just insane amounts of Destiny.
Oh, I had all 3 characters maxed, and the first one had nearly every exotic item.
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
At one point. Oh, yeah.
We've also got a 3 visits here. Search the library for a forest, put that card on the battlefield, then shuffle. 2 mana, a lot of 2 mana ramp in here. And then this last one I keep, again, putting in every deck I can because it does everything I want, and I'll explain what those are. Titania's Command is 4 double green, and you choose 2. Number 1, you exile target player's graveyard and gain 1 life for each card exiled this way. We've got life gain, which is what we care. Search the library for 2 lands, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle, which is what I want with that Rogue's Passage. Or you create 2/2 green bears, which is generally speaking going to gain me a lot of life. Or I put 2 1/1 counters on each creature I control.
I like the search for up to 2 land, not basic land, 2 land.
Yeah, it's Titania's Command is just a phenomenal card, and again, a 99-cent card. Like I didn't find like I didn't really set out to build this on a crazy budget. It just ended up having like a really, really low budget minus Resplendent Angel. And
Dan was talking about the deck list last night, Friday night, and he was like, "Yeah, my budget's like $150." I was like, "Dan," I was like, "What did you do?" Like,
there's no Guy's Cradle in this one.
I was like, "You don't build budget."
There is no Guy's Cradle, but it was just a really, really fun budget deck to build, and there's so many, again, like really, really underutilized cards. Like no one plays Lucky Offering. Have you ever seen that hit the table in Magic? Like it's a sorcery, so everyone's like, "Oh, it's not good," but there's a lot of mana rocks. There's a lot of artifacts, 3 or less, that are worth blowing up. Absolutely.
I'll cut you.
I will kill you. Yeah, no, it's I really, really like that one. And Titania, just like I said, it ended up just coming together as a really, really fun deck. I didn't feel that I was playing, generally speaking, when you're building a budget deck, you're always going to have a little bit of that feeling of like, okay, well, I am trading off some of my power for that. And I didn't feel weaker in this deck. I had a great time playing this. It was a really nice time. I also love looking at this instance section. So this is where we end this list off here with this 22 instance at $12.94. Let's go.
Just reading the titles. I don't like you.
There's some good ones. Slothy, you want to start us off with this one?
Sure do. We got a Beast Within, 2 in green. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast.
It's some of the best removal in the color.
Yeah.
It hits everything for 3.
Well, you don't even have the white version of it in here.
Yeah, what's it called? The gifts?
Generous gifts.
Generous gifts, yeah. Also a great inclusion in this. I went, you'll see more. And it's, whenever I say like I went this route, that's just because I didn't have generous gifts in the pile I was looking through at the time. I generally am not at a store building from a binder. I'm just generally like looking at what's in front of me on the table. Like for any of the people looking at a video, like here's my Thantis list that I'm just putting together of things. And is that a constant miss? You tell me. But it's that's generally how I build. It's just like what's beside me in piles or in boxes of rares. So there was no generous gifts there today. Be generous and gift me one, Brian.
I might have one. I might be able to.
There you go.
So next up here, we got Blacksmith Skill is 1 white. I do enjoy this card, actually. I'm going to have to find one. Target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. If it's an artifact creature, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Before he was subjugated by demonic forces, Dakon was a master smith of unrivaled artistry.
Yeah, good old Dakon Blackblade.
When I saw the demonic word, I had to read it. I hate you for this card.
What, the disenchant?
Yeah, you don't need more.
We've got 1 in the white, destroy target artifact or enchantment.
People, stop playing Smothering Tithe. We need more enchantment.
There's a Smothering Tithe in every deck I own.
I like this next one a lot as well. Divine Smite is wicked. It's 1 and a white. Target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls faces out. If that permanent is black, exile it instead. Someone tries to come at me. Try to come at me with a big creature? Nuh-uh.
Well, Dan, you should play some real D&D and learn how Divine Smites works.
Never.
Exactly.
But maybe.
This one looks neat. We're going to understand the art first. Emerged Unscathed. 1 white. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your... Oh, this is the one that you had when you were threatening me.
Nope, that was other ones.
And then has Rebound.
I really like this. It's great defense. So if someone's trying to get Trelasarra, but it's also a really good threat card because I say, Brian, don't try and do it. And Brian does it anyways. Not only is it going to protect me, but it's going to rebound on my turn and give me another instance of protection. And that card, my Trelasarra is coming at you on my next turn with your colors.
Yeah, you're mean.
Yeah. It's Emerge Unscathed is another great card I don't really see very often, but I like it a lot.
For 1 white, it's really not bad, like at all. 1 drop protection, like...
Hey, Brian, you should read this next one, too. I think you'd like it.
I feel like it's torture to my eyes. We have Exposed in Daylight, 2 and a white, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Scry 1.
I love
Hey, Lavinia.
Yeah, the flavor text is great. Lies cannot long withstand the harsh light of day. Let's go. Lavinia's based.
Then we got Feet of Resistance, 1 and a white. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains protection from the color of your choice until the end of turn.
That's the one.
A lot of protection. Boots are not necessary, Brian. I want to bait those counter those removals at me.
Yeah, it looks like you have the way to bait them.
Yeah. We've got a Fog of War as well. 2 and 1 green. You gain 1 life for each creature on the battlefield, which is awesome. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn by creatures with power 3 or less.
Oh man, your guy will get so big.
Yeah. I really like it because don't make that face of the next card, Brian. Don't be that guy. What are we talking about, Brian? I play with a bunch of monsters. What do you want me to say? For anyone watching this video, yeah, it's I'll read the next one as well. So Fog of War, great card. Does exactly what I want it to do. It's gonna stop that token swarm. Yes. Fracturing Gust is 2 and a hybrid green or white, a hybrid green or white, and a hybrid green or white. Instant, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. You gain 2 life for each permanent destroyed this way.
You're an animal.
This is a good one.
It is.
Pillow Fort this. Yeah.
You're so mean. I just want to survive.
It's really cool artwork too. But yeah, Fracturing Gust is a card that a lot of people can't come back from. And it's really, really funny because if someone's playing, like we've said, Smothering Ties, things like that, you're going to blow your treasures anyways. But if you've got like the clues, foods, any of those tokens that people are just like stocking, Power Stone tokens are really, really popular right now, those kind of things. I talked earlier about my Una deck and how it's all mana rocks and how I would cry if somebody... Oh, no, that wasn't on the episode. That was before we were talking. Well, my Una deck is all mana rocks, so I could trigger Una, and I would probably be like, all right, guys, great game, and shake everyone's hand if they did this one. Fracturing Gust is a great card.
That would probably be me with my Urza deck and my Savala deck and all my decks.
I was going to say, and your every deck and all the decks you build in the future.
Yeah.
The decks your grandchildren build.
Should just be called Fracturing Brian. Like, let's be honest about this.
I like that.
Next card that we have here is Gaia's Gift. 1 and a green. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains Reach, Trample, Hexproof, and Indestructible until end of turn.
It's a great card.
Nice little I wait card.
Yeah. That's you don't want to be the one. You don't want to be the one threatening my Trelasarra if I've got something like this in hand.
You're tra-la-la-la-la.
I attack Brian and I say, I want you to block with that thing. And you say no. I say, well, you should have. I'll give my 90/90 Trample, Hexproof, Reach, Indestructible.
Ugh.
Yeah, Trelasarra, Sky Punching. You want this next one here, Slothy?
Yeah. We got Heal the Scars. 3 and a green. Regenerate target creature. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Pretty good.
Yeah, there's only one.
I like that, actually.
Yeah. Oh, the next one is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's just such a good card, the next one. We played, so one of my brothers made a Blanca list, and it's another really, really budget deck, which is super cool. Blanca from the Street Fighter
I think it was
stuff.
like $58.
Yeah, it's a really, like, I'll get his deck list and we'll do one on it. Usually we only do our own deck list, but this one's just, it's so good that it has to be done. Maybe we'll even put it up as like a bonus episode for Patreon stuff when we start doing more of that launch. But it's just a really, really cool one. But Humble interacted greatly with it, so we'll go into it later. But Humble is just amazing. It is 1 and a white. Until end of turn, target creature loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 0/1. This is phenomenal. This is like when somebody is coming at you with their, oh, blah, 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 I've got Avacyn, it's indestructible, so I'm going to attack anyways. And I just say, humble yourself, fool. And then I block and kill their 0/1 Avacyn on the ground.
Do you feel humbled?
Yeah. Or, well, exactly. Somebody tries to do some Avacyn blasphemous act shenanigans or something like that, or nope. You will become a 0/1 and you will die with me. If it has 1/1 counters on it, like it's an Atraxa, then it'll still be a large 0/1 Atraxa with 10 1/1s on it. That'll still be fine. So things with counters won't be great, but there's a lot of cards that stripping their abilities will wreck the table. If somebody comes at me with a Blightsteel, the thing I would never put in a deck. It's turn it into a 0/1 and say not today. I love it. Humble's a very cool card, which again, you never see played.
No, I've never seen that card before.
Yeah, it was fun, right?
It was entertaining, actually. That was like a half an hour interaction understanding that we had to go through.
Yeah, the layers of it.
So next up we have Light of Hope. 1 white, choose 1. You gain 4 life, destroy target enchantment, and put a +1/+1 counter on each target on target creature. Sorry, I only see 2 abilities on that card.
Oh, it's okay. We'll go to the next one, which is Natural End. Where is your interaction now?
All I see is interaction.
Have you no sympathy for the damned? Like I said, I put a little more. The more budget you are, the more you have to have interaction things, I think, because you can't like just put all your eggs in one basket of like, these are just creatures. Like you gotta, if the cards in my deck suck, then I'm making everyone's field suck too. Yeah. So yeah, Natural End is that 2 and a green, destroy target artifact or enchantment, you gain 3 life. We just want to trigger those life gain things. Hey, Slothy, you want this next one?
Yeah, I would love this next one. It's Naturalize, 1 and a green, destroy target artifact or enchantment.
I have never feel so attacked.
Yeah.
Except when we're actually playing games.
Yeah, when everyone's attacking you.
Yep.
A lot of ways to destroy a Soul Ring in here.
Yep. That's why I play my Urza one. Oh, you target it, I will make another 2 Soul Rings.
You should read this next one, Brian, and the flavor text, because I think you'd like it.
So we have Pledge of Unity. At first, when I first looked at it, I was like, "Oh, this guy's getting swarmed. Like he's screwed." But we got Pledge of Unity, 1 green and a white. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. You gain 1 life for each creature. 1 life for each creature you control. Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Definitely on theme for what we want to do overall. This is the card I was threatening you with, Brian. This is Razor Barrier. It's 1 and a white. Target permanent you control gains protection from artifacts or the color of your choice until end of turn.
We protect our homelands. Why should they not protect us?
That's very true.
Next up, we got Revitalize. 1 and a white. You gain 3 life and draw a card.
Yeah.
That's definitely needed.
This deck would be really good with an Isochron Scepter, I think, as well. There's a lot of 2 mana bangers in here.
Naturalize every turn.
Yeah. Well, or Shelter every turn. 1 and a white for Shelter. Target creature you control gains pro the color of your choice on a turn and draw a card.
Ooh, that would actually be good.
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with that one.
I was going to say I haven't seen that card in quite some time. I think it was an older card.
Shelter, yeah.
Cameo Safekeeping. 1 green. Target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 2 life.
It's everything we want.
It is. It is.
Yeah. I picked up all of these on release for it, every one I could find. Every single one. When it was like a 25-cent card, and I was like, this is an amazing card. And everyone's like, it's okay. I'm like, nope, it's great.
And now it's $1.79.
Yeah, and now no one has access to them. Enjoy that. It's
actually the price of that card reminds me of Toll Booth Willie. Yeah. It's $1.75. Pop.
True. I really, really like Cameo Safekeeping. I think it's a super, super cool card.
Oh, this next one is really neat too. I've never seen this one.
Take it, please.
2 arms, 1 and a white. Untap all creatures you control. Draw a card.
Yep.
And then Slothy, you want to close us out here?
Yeah. So last instant here is you happen on a glade, 2 and a green. You can choose 1 to journey on. Search your library from 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle. Or you can make camp to return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. I really like this card.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah. Like I said, building this deck was really, really fun. This is another one that I think is going to be really similar to Urza Prince of Krug for me. Just one that I build multiple versions of because I just am in love with the card. Like, I don't know how this really passed me by back at the time. Maybe there's just a bunch of other stuff I was interested in building.
Like always.
But again, like I said, for so many tribes, like this could be a very cool elf commander. This could be a cool cleric commander. I made like a budget life gain one. It would be interesting to see like what a full version of it would look like if I was to go the route of like a Sensei's Divining Top and just like the go crazy, put Ozolith, put maybe a Soul Ring in it. Who knows, right? Like all those things. I think that Trelasarra could definitely be powered up, but I at no point felt this was a weak deck. I didn't feel I was stuck with nothing to do. I really, really liked it. A cleric deck would be so fun, a 1/1 counters themed deck. Like there's just a lot of directions to go with this, and I think, like I said, I think that this is a great function for a shell. If you want just a fun, cheap deck to build this deck, take out the Resplendent Angel, you've got an $80 deck that is going to be an absolute blast to play. These cards, a lot of them aren't getting played. You're going to be able to find the vast majority of them for nothing.
Yeah.
One that I was kind of surprised wasn't based on how much you like to threaten people is Aetherflux.
Aetherflux would be another great card. More instances of every time you cast a spell, you gain a life. So again, it's more just quantity. That would have been a great inclusion as well. And I will give you one guess as to why it's not.
Budget.
No, it was not in the pile in front of me when I was building.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's that would be a really, really good one. There's a lot of like cool ones in here. There's one as well that's it suspends for 1 life. I think it suspends for 4 or 5 turns, and then you gain 20 life.
I have no idea what that one is.
Oh, also missing from this, I didn't do my edit. I can't remember what I added. I cut one of these cards. It might have been that Nykthos now that I'm thinking about it. But I put Test of Endurance in this deck as well. Test of Endurance is just a great inclusion in this deck. Like getting to 50 life is nothing in this. Felidar Sovereign, another one would be great. Like all of those things, all of the you win for life cards are going to trigger so quick with this. Because you can go Boon Reflection that path and pretty easily be like, okay, well now I'm gonna, every time I gain life it's gonna be 10 life, right? And Alhamerit's Archive would be great.
The Rhino guy.
Yeah, exactly. Rock's Faithmender, right? Yep. There's a lot of like really, really like interesting ways to go with this. That's why I said that this I think is a really fun shell. If you want just a fun out of the box deck to play, send this list to your LGS and you're going to have a great list at like $80. It's a great time. It's got like one of the lowest salt sums I've seen. It's like 16.
I need to upload some of my newer decks onto here and see what the salt score I get.
How can you be salty at this? It's got something I never put in decks, which is some interaction. What's that about? I get to say those words in response. I stutter them because I never speak them.
I was ready to yell in response from the bathroom last time.
Yeah. In response.
I heard Greg starting to tap lands. He's like, I'm tapping 8 mana. I was like, I was waiting, and then Kalen chatted. No. And I was like, I can't hear what he's saying.
Yeah, like I said, this is it's just very fun. Some different sources of draw are definitely gonna improve the deck. I really, really like this instant section. Like I said, this $13 instant section is a blast to play with.
Selvala.
Selvala would be another great one. More ramp and life gain. What am I talking about?
And draw.
Yeah, it is everything I want.
And it's 3 mana.
Well, also pretend Selvala's in the list, and it's an elf. It fits in every point.
You're welcome.
Yeah, to be honest, the Selvala life gain deck would be really fun. I've never even thought about it till now.
Yeah, actually, I just like my enchantments.
I just like my Selvala Angels and my Selvala Competitive and my Selvala Elves. And Selvala.
And soon to be Selvala life gain.
I will probably make a Selvala life gain. I really love Explorer.
Eyebrows.
Yeah. Wink, wink. Like I said, this is what did you think of this? You saw it in action, Brian.
Oh, you were at 97 life like 8 times. We would do damage. He's back down to like 50 something maybe, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm back at 97 life again." Because that Genesis wave that was giving everyone mirrors.
Genesis Chamber, yeah, that was wicked.
No, yeah, Genesis Wave is something totally different.
Genesis Wave would be great. No, like I said, I thought it was a fun deck to play. What did you think of this one, Slothy? You happy there's instants?
I am very happy that there's instants. It's very, very good on a budget. It fits
so well together, and I want to play against this one.
This is a really, really fun. Like I said, one of the next streams we do, I'll pull this one out. This was I got a few of the games in. We did I did this one. I did the new Alondra from Jumpstart, that draw Drake commander.
Yep.
That was a really, really good one. Definitely the table was trying to take me out at the end with there's a pretty good like counter spell storm. People are like, I'll blow up your lab maniac. I was like, okay, well, I will Blue Sun Zenith myself for 5, and they're like, I will blow up your lab maniac on top of that. I'll be like, I will. Come on, guys.
I could have added more to that, but then I exiled some like Greg's like.
Oh yeah, that was really funny. He's just like, I'll source the plowshare. Greg's whatever it was, his Atraxa.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just blow up your Atraxa. And he's like, what? Why? I was like, I don't know. It just seems right.
Yeah. That the hashtag Brian dies first doesn't apply if Greg's in the game. It's no, yeah, like I said, this is I think both a fun deck to play and a fun one to play against. You're gonna pull out instants and sorceries people haven't seen. Like again, a humble is hilarious. Somebody swings in with something massive or really is relying on a creature. You just know.
Yeah, especially if it's not counters. Like that was funny.
Yeah, yeah. No, this was a fun one. I definitely was really, really happy with the results of it, and it's definitely made me want to build more and more of these Trelasarras. Even like I said, without basics, which we shouldn't really include in the deck anyways, I think, because everyone has basics except for me when I was out of basics. Yeah, Brian brought me so many basics when he took his break. It was great. But yeah, it's like $114 without basics. 40 of the dollars is a Resplendent Angel, which is great, but not needed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's so many really, really cool, like Trudge Garden would be great. There's lots of like, they really did give green a lot of interesting life gain resources. So there's so many directions you can go.
I just really enjoy green and white. Like they're my primary colors. Like for me, I probably have as always, my it's blanking on me now. My Smothering Tithes. I'm surprised that there wasn't both of like the swords to plowshares and path. Like
those are great. The new you played it as well, the new Metalcraft Dispatch one.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
That's another awesome one. The tap target creature if you've got 3 artifacts.
3 or more. Yeah.
They printed new sorcery Swords to Plowshare as well. That's a great card that equal to the number of planes you control. I like that one.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll have to look at that one.
Yeah, like they just keep printing more and more cool cards, which like is I think at least starting to lead to more deck building diversity. Like I know a lot of people are going to like an EDH rec list with a lot of these cards, but there's just like so many fun ways you can take. That's why I like Magic so much, is that there's so many like different silly things you can do with decks.
I like the amount that like it's, to me, I like strategy games. So I like being able to, like, there's different ways that you have to try to think about going around different situations. Yeah. So that's what I really enjoy.
Yeah, but no, I'm glad you guys like this one. I think next week we're doing like a theory discussion thing. We haven't talked about what we're doing with our next one, but I'm glad you guys like this deck list because it was really fun. It's been on my mind ever since I started like brewing this. I was like, how can I make this? It seems so fun. What do I want to put into it? And it just, like I said, it came out into a really fun budget deck, and I'm happy with this one. It's not everything's about blowing everyone's lands up.
And now you can say you actually built a budget deck.
Huh? Just most things.
I said that now you can actually say you built a budget deck.
I've been building lots of budget decks lately. Because here's the thing, it's I'm out of Soul Rings, and so are all the stores around here. So Slothy brought me some Soul Rings the other day, which I appreciated greatly. But no, like other than that, like I just got no Soul Rings, and I've got so many of my cards in decks. Like no matter what the size of your collection is, like when you hit, I think this weekend's decks took me to like 430. When you're at that many decks, right, like your staples are gonna be in those decks, so you've got to start building different things or going out and buying those cards. And just with the shutdown of all the stores during the pandemic, I got really used to building with like what was in front of me, what was in boxes, and what's in front of me is often a gigantic pile of cards. So that might not be the experience for everyone, But it just led me to build, like, some of my favorite decks that I've built lately have been budget garbage, is the only way to put it. Like, Kama is one of my favorite decks that I've built ever of all time. And I think that's like a $65 deck. That's
Wow.
I love the goad mechanic. Kama's an absolute blast to play. Like, this Trelasarra was a blast to play. Like, there's, again, that also could be that I'm just out of dual lands. They're all in other decks, so that's probably where all my budget is going. I have a finite number of them, and I've reached it, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah. Could I just swap them around in the sleeve? Sure. Sure I could, but no.
Yeah. Does he do that?
No, like I said, I've been building like silly budget decks. I've been building lots of cool like high power stuff too, but no one wants to be like, oh, how fast can Daniel combo? The episode.
1 second. Done.
Yeah. I want to do, I think I'll do, like I said, we only do generally our own decks, but I had a Neheb deck with the Dragon's Approach. I took it apart, but we'll do Greg's deck too. 5-minute deck tech. All right, the deck has 50 Dragon's Approach, Neheb the Eternal, and we are done. Bing, bang, boom. There's a few dragons.
40 lands.
Yeah. I don't think we ever did my Persistent Petitioners deck on here.
No.
Yeah, my True Lane version is Persistent Petitioners with like 49 Persistent Petitioners in it. Do a 5-minute deck tech episode. All right, so all you're going to need is this stack of cards and then like 10 others.
Yeah.
Your choice.
Yeah. But no, we will wrap there. If you guys let me hit my music. If for some reason there's something on here that's too expensive, like that Resplendent Angel, go to abyssproxyshop.com, promo code IT99. Great quality stuff. Something's just came in the mail for me, so we'll be doing a review one. I'll probably get Brian to come over and we'll film a review, Brian or Slothy, if you guys want to come over, and we'll do it. I got some Ramos cards for it, so I'm pretty excited. Definitely check that out. That's great quality stuff. Get into your LGS, buy cards like this. Like, go out and buy like an $80 deck and just play something silly. Like, change your playstyle up a little bit if you aren't playing these less salty things or budget things. Try do those interactions. It's fun. Try find fun cards like Humble that'll shock your play table, and again, humble them when they attack you with big creatures. Blight Steal me? Never humble yourself. Thank you guys so much for getting to the end of the episode. We're gonna be delaying the YouTube versions of the episode by a week now, which gives some time to get some editing and stuff. I know Brian liked getting the card stuff up on it, so eventually we might get back to that when we have the time as a group, but until then we don't. There's definitely like new gameplay videos coming out all the time, so see it. We stream lots. All our content's over into the 99. Come chat with us on Discord. This is long. I've got a lot of things to say. Come check us out on Discord. I'm really active on the Instagram. Slothy's on the Twitter all the time now, so it's really easy to get a hold of us if you ever have deck lists that you want to show us, or let us know what I should have put in the deck. I understand it's Soul Ring. You guys can save that message. I get it. In my soul, I know. And yeah, just thanks everyone for showing up. I appreciate it all the time. And we're out of music. Yes. 20-minute plug and I started again. No. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I guess I don't think it comes through the way we record. A lot of times we record just through Discord, so I don't think it comes through on the video side. So it's just me talking about music that doesn't exist, like I'm schizophrenic.
Oh, you're not there either sometimes, so.
Nice. Okay. Well, yes, there we go. Thank you guys so much for getting to the end of the episode. I appreciate all of you. Bye-bye.
Mwah.
See ya.